Can you invest in sports cards? If you want to find out reason number 4, stay tuned. Welcome back to EDI Sports Cards. In this video series, we are looking at can you invest in sports cards? And this is reason number 4 that you cannot invest in sports cards. So what is reason number 4? And that has to do with something that all of us know and love. It's called scams. Yes, scams. We just love scams in the hobby. Scams drive views. Scams drive everything that we just love and hate about the hobby. And you can't go a year without some scam in the sports card hobby. And so I wanted to actually alert you to a brand new video from Tan Man, the baseball fan, who just put out a new video within the last week called The New Baseball Scam to Look Out For. And I will put a link to that video here in this video. And the reason that I want to highlight it is because I think he explains it really, really well. If you saw the last video, reason number 3, you saw that I started to talk about historical data as well as the problems with the market mover app. And actually, Tan Man discusses not the market mover app, but the problem with the data. Because eBay is considered the comps, right? Because it's the largest marketplace for sports cards in the world. And so we look at eBay comps to try to figure out what a card is worth. The problem is that those numbers, those comps are skewed because of the scams in the hobby. And he highlights a great example of that with the 1989 Topps Jose Canseco error card. But scams is a problem, and you need to be aware of them if you're going to, again, invest in sports card. To be honest, there's no reason. If you understand that there's no investing in sports cards, you're not going to get fooled and duped by scams. And the reason is because you're not chasing after value. See, when you actually build a collection that's based on investing, you're chasing value. When you build a collection that's based on a collection, things that you want to own, then the value of the card only comes into play when you go, well, how much do I pay for that card? You're not worried about, well, how much is this going to be worth? Because that's not the important part. You should really be collecting cards that you want to collect. If you're buying and selling cards, then you need to run this like a business. Again, if you run it like a business, you're not going to fall for scams. If you collect based on collecting philosophy, you're also not going to fall for scams. The only reason you fall for scams is because you invest in sports cards and you chase after value. You cannot do that, and hopefully through this video series, you start to realize that that's not the fun of the hobby. The fun of the hobby is going out to card shows, talking to dealers, talking to your friends, even going on Instagram and eBay and talking to sellers and saying, hey, I'm interested in this card. Can we do a deal on it? That's the fun of the hobby, and getting cards that you like. I like sports cards because I love photography. I'm an amateur photographer. In fact, I used to be a professional photographer way back in the day, like 20 years ago. But I'm an amateur photographer at this point. I like the photography. I like players. Like, I have all of Thurman Munson's cards in my collection. The reason is because I'm from New York, and when I was little, I was a Yankee fan, and Thurman Munson was my favorite player. I collect what I want to collect. I'm not concerned about the value. I'm concerned about my collection. Do I enjoy it? So hopefully through this series, you can start to transition your mindset from investing, where you chase value, and go to collecting what you love. That's what's going to make you happy. But the minute you start becoming an investor, you chase after value and you become susceptible to scams. Hopefully all that makes sense. I want to thank you again for joining. I'm going to continue to make videos in this series. Hopefully you like these videos. If you do, please share them around. I would love to hear all the comments. Again, keep giving me comments. I enjoy them. I'm glad that I'm part of this community. I'm glad that you guys enjoy them as well. Just going to sign off.